me if I told you that my hair hasn't been washed for a good 5 days? Of course you believe me, because it's gelled to my head. It is literally not moving, and that isn't even gel, that's grease. No, there is gel in it. There is gel in it. Oh god. Hello honeys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're just joining me now, then this is really exciting because I have butterfly pillows, butterfly bed sheets and butterfly wallpaper. Listen here, Huns, you heard it here first. I'm a butterfly. If you are new here, then thank you so much for finding me. I don't know how you found me, but if you are new here, then you're going to probably want to watch part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4 of this story time, which I will link below. If you are new here, then please subscribe, because I genuinely believe we have the most loving family on the internet. I'm a Hun, you're a Hun. Hopefully you want to be a Hun, and my Huns that are returning, you're Huns. I love you all so much. So let's get into it. This is a really exciting video. This isn't really that much of an exciting video. This is more like a video like, Imogen, have I got lipstick on me? Yeah, of course. Loving life. This is more of a video like, Imogen, really? Like, could this get any worse? Yes, the situation does get worse. If you've watched part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4 of failed friendship story time, then this is where it gets worse. This is where it gets a whole lot worse. This is the ending of the story. Dun, dun, dun. So without further ado, let's get into failed friendships part 5. I feel like I need to take a chill pill. Actually, I don't, but I've just eaten so much ice cream. It's a joke. Obviously dairy free, because you know your gal can't have dairy. But I feel like I needed to prepare on a lot of sugar to prepare for this story time, because it's quite heartbreaking. It's quite heartbreaking, this one. And I'm not going to cry. Probably will cry. Let's be real. Definitely will cry. After everything that happened in part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4, I could have just said all 4 parts previously, I was still friends with her. I was still friends with Laura. Laura was still living in my house. She was, if anything, my best friend and my only friend by this point. Laura was honestly, yeah, my only friend. It was me, my dad and Laura living in the house, and basically this one night, this is where it all changed. I'll give you a little bit of a backstory, but basically just before this had all started, obviously I had told you that my ex-boyfriend had an ex-girlfriend, and me and him were together at the time, and it was kind of an on and off thing at the time because I was young. There were so many difficulties facing our relationship, and my ex-boyfriend's ex-girlfriend really didn't like me. Like, when I mean really didn't like me, I mean like really didn't like me. And she would send me hate on Facebook. She would send me hate through my friends. If I saw her, she would give me hate. And one thing that really stood out and that's very relevant to this story is that, what's her name? Let's call her Alexa. Alexa, sorry, my angels that are called Alexa, and also sorry to Alexa that's used by Google. We love you so much, Alexa. But today I'm going to use the name Alexa. Oh my god, if anyone's got Alexa in their room and I'm saying Alexa, she's going to be like, yes? Anyway, so Alexa kept messaging me on Facebook, just basically telling me that she hated me. But one thing that's very relevant is that she kept telling me, you need to watch out, you need to realise who your real friends are, you're being snaked and you don't even know it. And I was like, listen, my best friend is Laura, and Laura would never do anything to me, so you can keep talking, but I don't believe you. But at the time, this girl's 5 years older than me. Obviously, I didn't say that back. I was so scared of her. I was so scared of her. I was so scared of her, so I was never going to say that back. But I did keep saying, Laura would never do that to me. Like, that's my only friend. She would never do that to me. And I used to always show Laura, because obviously Laura was living with me. And I'd be like to Laura, oh, here's Alexa. She sent me another Facebook horrible message. And then I'd show Laura and she'd be like, oh, leave it, like, don't even respond to her. So I didn't. I never responded to her, really. I wouldn't respond to her hate, except I would try and say to her that I'm sorry if she didn't like me. It was just really difficult because she would tell me that my boyfriend was cheating on me with her. And it was just a really negative, nasty situation to be in. And I learned and grew so much from that relationship. So I'm not in regret. I'm not in any bitter state of mind. I just feel like it was one of those relationships maybe I had to go through to realise a lot about myself, to realise a lot about what I want in relationships and all that jazz, you know. So this one night, basically, me and Laura, we used to work in a lot of clubs. We used to go underage clubbing. I've addressed that before and I'm so sorry, please don't judge me, but I did go underage clubbing. It's something which I would urge you not to do because I think I tried to grow up too quickly. But anyway, I was going underage clubbing. Me and Laura used to fly on the streets at night, and we would get our friends into clubs. We would go clubbing underage, and we just loved it. It was cash in hand. We lived the dream. That's what we thought anyway at the time, which was really bad, and we could have put loads of people in trouble by working for clubs underage, so it's a really bad thing to do. And please don't judge me, but anyway, that's relevant to the story. This one night we had it off and we were buzzing because we were like, yes, we can go on a night out. And there was this club in Brighton, and it was the night on a Friday. It was the night, it was the go-to night. However, some things were happening on the Saturday with my family which were really difficult. There was a lot of things going on with my family at the time, which obviously I'm not going to go into, but it was a really difficult time. So the Friday night, In hindsight, I probably shouldn't have gone out. But I didn't really handle my parents' divorce very well. My parents too probably admit that they do admit that they didn't handle their divorce very well. But when feelings are involved, when, you know, we're humans, we all make mistakes. Every single person in this world makes mistakes. And I think when you grow up, you think your parents are perfect, and then you realise that everyone is imperfect. No one's perfect. Yeah, so I didn't really handle the divorce very well. So I went on a night out with Laura and we were so excited. So I went to this club, I used this ID, I got into the club, and then I'm in the club chilling and me and Laura are partying, and then on my right I see Alexa and all of her friends in this booth, and I was like, oh no. And at the time I was 15 and Alexa and her friends were 19, 20, 21. And some of those girls people would perceive as hard, like they were very hard girls. I'd heard that they've got into fights a lot of the time. They're just quite aggressive kind of girls. Like those girls that she hung around with were girls that you would be scared of, girls that just go round and assert their authority by essentially intimidating, bullying and using their fists on people. So the fact that there was 5 of them in this booth, I got so scared and I was like to Laura, I really think we should go home. I was like, I really think we should go home. Like, I don't think we should be here. I just feel like something's not right. So me and Laura were loving our lives, blah, 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 dancing. And I knew a couple of the older boys in the older years because my cousins, and also just from going out in Brighton and just meeting other people, I knew a couple of the older boys. Anyway, so we're in this club and I used to wear clip-in extensions. I used to love them. Well, I didn't really love them actually because they were so horrible on my hair. I literally felt like they would rip out my hair. They were really horrible ones. Like, I literally bought them from Sally's. They were like £13 and I was living the dream. Like, I had long hair anyway, but I just felt like I needed some clip-in extensions and I was buzzing off them. So then I'm dancing, loving life. And I've gone to like this part, this like little bit near where the booths are. And Laura's dancing. And then I'm sort of dancing, and this boy comes over who we both knew, and we're talking to him, dancing, and then I'm talking to him, and because I'm so engrossed in our conversation, I don't really recognise that Laura's actually gone. Laura's just not there. So I was out with no one else but Laura, and Laura's disappeared, and I'm like, Laura hun, where are you, babes? You know, and also not just that, I was like, Laura hun, where are you, babes? Because I was so nervous, because I felt like she was my security blanket because of those other girls. Obviously, I would never have put my friend in a situation where I feel like she'd have to stick up for me, but I felt as though having someone, I felt a little bit stronger than just being on my own. So I'm talking to this boy and I'm like, sorry, 1 second, I'm just gonna go try and find Laura. So I'm walking through the club trying to find Laura, and I promise you, I couldn't find her anywhere. I couldn't find her anywhere. And then I'm looking for her for about, it felt like a long time, but it definitely probably wasn't. And then all of a sudden I felt this hand, right? So I'm standing here and I felt this hand come onto my face, grip into my mouth. So it's like this, and it's dragged me back, but it's also gone in my eye. So I felt a sharp nail in my eye and then 2 sharp fingers sort of drag me back. So then as I've been dragged back, some of my hair's been pulled out, and it was extensions, so it's been ripped out. Obviously by this point I was a little bit drunk, and when I mean a little bit drunk, I mean it takes me like 1 drink to get drunk, because obviously I didn't drink a lot and I don't drink anymore at all. But at the time, yes, I did underage drink, and that's a really bad thing, and I'm really sorry. I don't condone it at all, and I don't recommend it in the slightest, but I was a little bit drunk. Obviously it takes 1 drink for me to get drunk because I was such a lightweight. I felt my extensions been ripped out, and I'm running around the club because I'm thinking, I've run away, I didn't even look behind me, I did not even know a thing. Then all of a sudden, because I'm crying and I'm really het up and I'm like stressing and shaking and all these things because I think, oh my god, I'm gonna get beaten up here, I think to myself, should I tell the bouncer? But then I'm thinking to myself, if I tell the bouncer, they're then gonna want to know more details about me. They're probably then gonna call the police. I'm 15, I shouldn't be in a club. Like, something could seriously go wrong here. So then I'm shaking, I'm crying, I don't really remember too much of it, but all I remember is being jumped by 4 girls. When I got jumped, I was kicked the out of, excuse my language, but I can't actually tell you without swearing. I was kicked senseless. I mean, I know you can't see it and you definitely aren't here to feel it, but I have an indent in my leg from where I was kicked so much, and my shin, it goes in on one side rather than the other. I also have a scar on my arm, which I don't know if you can see it, but it's where your BCG should be. I didn't have a BCG because I actually had homeopathy, but no, you probably can't see it. You definitely can't see it. Can you see it? It's like white. They actually burnt me with a lighter. I had my hair completely dragged. I had my eyelashes ripped off. I was spat at. I don't really remember what else. I don't actually really remember what else. Oh God. Sorry. I was really badly beaten up. Like really badly beaten up by 4 older girls. I had no one to defend me. I was on the floor anyway. I just remember sort of going like this and just trying to protect my head. The only person that actually protected me, God bless him, is a boy that I know, the boy that I've been speaking to previously beforehand in the club, and I'd said to him that they were scaring me and I was a bit nervous, so I am so grateful for him because he dragged them off, got the bouncers, got the security. I know it seems so funny because I'm sitting here sort of saying, you know, crying, and it might make me seem really silly and whatever, but when you're physically hit, it's just a really weird shock and it's a really horrible feeling. And I just remember trying to find Laura still after that, and then all of a sudden it was like she'd been missing this whole time, and then I found her. Obviously I was in a complete state. I didn't even ask her where she'd been. It's really weird because looking back now, it's almost as if she knew that that had happened, but she didn't know because she wasn't around. So she kept saying I was in the smoking area, I was in the smoking area, I was in the smoking area, because she used to smoke. Did I take my jacket off? Oh yeah, I did, to show you the scar. Couldn't even remember taking my jacket off. Oh, Imogen. It's because I'm so engrossed in this story. Oh, I'm so silly. So then we ran outside the club. I remember running outside the club with her because she told me to run. So then we ran outside the club, we went into this little alleyway, and she was like, Imogen, you can't tell the bouncers, you can't tell the police, we were underage in a club, we used someone else's ID, that's identity theft, that's identity fraud, we'll get done. And I remember thinking, oh my God. And I remember at the time, I was so shaken up, I was just shaking. I had blood on me, I was bruised, I bruised instantly. So it must have been, I don't even know. Right, sorry. It's just, when you look back and you think about it, it just brings up loads of old memories that you just think, oh. And even when I told my ex-boyfriend, there wasn't really that much that he could do because he had a child with this girl. And it was a very, very, very difficult position, and it was a very difficult situation because obviously his kid was always going to come first, but I was a child at the time and I couldn't really work that one out, and I felt as though I could handle this adult relationship, but I probably couldn't. And I can understand maybe on her perspective, you know, I was the girl that came along after her, and I mean, the backstory of their relationship isn't something which I'll go into. Maybe I'll go into it when I talk about my ex-boyfriend and stuff like that, but it was a really difficult relationship, I think, and it wasn't a long-term thing. They had a baby very suddenly, and then he stayed with her the pregnancy and left her after the baby was born, and I can understand that it must have been so difficult for her. I mean, I never got with him when they were together. I would never have ever done that, but I can understand maybe she was just, she wanted him, she was in love with him, and I was the next girl and she just hated me. But I could never think of ever hitting someone. I could never think of ever hurting someone like that. I was young, there was 4 of them, I had no chance. Like, sorry. And the thing is, at the time, it was so difficult with my family that telling them, I remember my mum seeing me and she just burst into tears. My mum was a mess. My mum was like, you have to call the police. She wanted me to call the police so badly, which any parent would. But I was like, Mum, it'll put me in such a difficult position. And then what if it links back to my ex-boyfriend, and what if that puts a strain on his relationship with his kid? And I was like, I can't, Mum, I actually can't tell the police. And I was in a club underage and, oh, sorry. So me and Laura went back to my mum's house, and obviously I woke my mum up and told my mum everything. My dad was actually away at the time. Laura then got a taxi back at like 6 in the morning, and I was like, really strange, because we'd got back about 1:30, and then obviously my mum was putting ice packs on me and looking after me and cuddling me, and I was just crying and shaking. And then Laura left me in the bed. I remember still I couldn't sleep because I was just thinking about it, and just, I was a complete mess. And I was on the phone to Jacob. I think I woke him up. He was at uni. Oh, it's horrible. It's even horrible to think about it now. And then I remember thinking, why would Laura leave me? Like, why would she leave me in the bed? Like, surely she's my best friend. She should want to be around me and want to look after me. I don't know. But obviously now, knowing everything, it makes sense. So then the next day, I woke up and there was photos going around Facebook of girls, the girls in question that beat me up, holding my extensions as like a prize. As like a prize. As if we did it. Like we got her hair, we ripped her hair out, we ripped her eyelashes off, we beat the rubbish out of her. Like, is that something to be proud of? Is that something to be proud of? Also knowing that 3 out of the 4 of them have children. Imagine someone did that to their child. I'm pretty sure they'd go mad. I just felt really vulnerable. And then the next day I had to go to something which was really difficult. It was a very difficult day, the Saturday, for my whole family. And I was just a complete mess. I was really shaken up from it. And I know I'm not saying it was the worst scenario, because there could have been a lot worse, but I was young and I'd grown up in such a sheltered family home where my parents really bubble wrapped me and looked after me so much. And they protected me from things like that I'd never been around fights. I'd never been in a fight, and I'd never been beaten up ever. So it really, really shook me. It really did shake me up. But at the time, funnily enough, it was actually the least of my problems. I had so many other things going on with my family that it wasn't really the biggest issue. It was an issue, but I hated my family having to see me like that. There are some things you just actually can't get over, and that's probably one of them. Because it's so vivid in my head. I remember lying on the floor in the club and just... funnily enough, I've got another story to tell you about me being beaten up. Another couple of... Oh, sorry, angels, that's really rude. I'll turn my phone on silent, sorry. I've got another story to tell you about another time when I was beaten up, but that's another story. I know you're probably thinking, where does Laura fit into all this? But Laura definitely fits into all of this. I don't actually think I've got it in me. I think I need a break. Like, I don't actually think I've got it in me to go into the next part of the story. I think I'm so emotional tonight. You know when you just feel so emotional? I feel really emotional tonight. Anyway, so there was these photos on Facebook of them holding up my extensions, and they were like, ha ha ha, I need to say these words, I'm really sorry, don't swear on my channel, but these were the words they used. Ha ha ha, the bitch deserved it, she finally got what she deserved. Loads of things like, you should have killed her. And I was 15, I was scared for my life. I thought, are these girls gonna come for me? They said they would. I got threats all the time on Facebook from all of these girls. They got my number, I got calls, I got texts saying, we will come to your school, we'll come to your college. It didn't stop. It didn't stop. And really strangely enough, my whole relationship with my ex-boyfriend, it didn't stop either. It didn't stop. From start to finish, it was toxic with his ex-girlfriend. It was the most difficult relationship because of it. Honestly, it wasn't even the fact that he had a child, because I loved that child. It was the fact that his ex-girlfriend made it so difficult for me and him to actually have anything together, which I'm actually grateful for now, because I'm definitely not meant to be with him. Jeez Louise. And I loved him so much at the time. It was so hard, it was so difficult, and I was constantly stressed, constantly living on edge. Anyway, I'm gonna make this a part 2, because right now, I'm not gonna lie to you, I actually can't keep talking about the story. I'm gonna go downstairs, get an orange juice, and then come back up and film. That's what I'm gonna do, because I know I'll just end up completely crying. I'll probably cry in the next story, but won't I? But no one wants to see me cry. You see me cry all the time. I'm gonna go downstairs, I'm gonna chill out with my dad for a bit, and then I'm gonna come back up and film it. So these videos will be back to back. They'll be in the same week, I promise you. Just quickly before I go, and I'm gonna address this in the next part of the story anyway, but I just want you to know that I make these stories because I want to show you that you're not alone in any situation you go through. Like, we all have been through something, whether it's not the same, it's similar. And I urge you to reach out to someone if you are in a toxic relationship or a toxic friendship, because you deserve the world. You deserve the world. I genuinely believe that you deserve the world. And don't ever stay with someone because you think you can't get better, or because you're dependent of them, because you're scared of being alone, because being alone isn't scary. Being in a relationship or a friendship where you feel like you've lost yourself, you can feel 10 times more alone. I promise you. And I am so lucky that I have this platform that I'm able to share stories like this with you, so you don't feel alone, and that we can all talk and we can all have a chat in the comments section, and we can all make friends, because that is what I want to do. That is what I feel like I'm meant to do. Share things with all of you to spread awareness of all these issues that we all go through every single day. I love you all so much, and I promise you we will get through this all together. You are so much stronger than you think. You are so much stronger than you give yourself credit for, I promise you. I love you all with all my heart. Thanks so much for even watching this. I'm so sorry I've been crying. I'm gonna go downstairs, get myself together, come back and film it, and this video will be going up on Tuesday, and then my next video will be going up on Sunday. So Tuesday and Sunday you have Failed Friendships Part 5 and Failed Friendships Part 6. So I will see you on Sunday. I love you all so much, and until next time, I'm gonna love you. And I'm gonna leave you. Sorry, that was really bad. I love you all so much. Sorry, I'm really sorry.